Tonight on CTV News at 6. How many people are losing their jobs?
You've got the hospital pretending that these cuts will have no impact on patient care, and we say that's hogwash.
Layoffs are coming to the North Bay Regional Health Centre. Crimes of opportunity.
Talking to a lot of the businesses in the neighborhood, they're experiencing it as well. It's tough times for people out there.
Police in Sudbury say shoplifting incidents are on the rise. And Voices Against Violence rally in Sault Ste. Marie.
I think it gives us purpose and hope on a day that would be daunting and, really hard for all of us individually and collectively as a family.
It's been 2 years since a woman and her 3 children were murdered.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening and thanks for being with us on this Thursday. Layoffs are coming to the North Bay Regional Health Centre as part of restructuring and changes at the hospital to deal with a budget deficit. Parking is going up and also changes to how some services are accessed. CTV's Eric Tashner now with more details.
The hospital says major changes are coming over the next 6 months in order to meet budget requirements. 40 full-time and part-time positions will be cut. While those jobs are being eliminated, the hospital says actual layoffs could be much lower when retirement and attrition are factored in, as well as the fact 14 new positions are being created.
You've got the hospital pretending that these cuts will have no impact on patient care, and we say that's hogwash.
The hospital is trying to find savings of $5.6 million, writing, "We have done everything in our power to meet our financial target and find savings equal to 2% of our budget."
Their actual costs are more in the neighborhood of 5%.
The hospital is also reducing the number of physician leadership roles starting January 1st. This is a reduction of 20% with no change in doctor numbers. The parking rate is also increasing starting in January. The one-time exit pass will be increasing by $1.25 to $7.25. The hospital adds it is not unique when facing complex challenges, including operational pressures, financial constraints, and an increased demand for services.
The Ford government can't escape its responsibility to provide funding so that hospitals like the North Bay Regional Health Centre can provide the care that they need to.
The hospital says it's working with the provincial government to find both funding and operational solutions to create an innovative and sustainable future for its patients. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
And Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli says the changes will not affect patient care in the city as the government is committing more money to the health care across the province. Saying in a written statement for the North Bay Regional Health Centre, annual funding has grown by $49.3 million since 2020, representing a nearly 20% increase. Adding this increase is the reason why the changes announced as part of their long-term planning will not impact patients in North Bay. As we told you yesterday, the Interfor mill in Gogama is temporarily shutting down. The facility is expected to be idle for the next 2 weeks. The union representing the mill workers, United Steelworkers Local 12010, confirmed the shutdown today. While union representatives were not available for an interview, they told CTV News the closure is due to economic uncertainty stemming from tariffs. They add that some workers will be brought back after the 2 weeks as shifts are reduced from 2 to 1. In an email to CTV News yesterday, Interfor said it's making temporary adjustments to its lumber production plans in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, in Timiskaming Shores, jobs will soon be available. Funding for the first cobalt sulfate refinery has been confirmed. Electra Battery Materials says $82 million US in capital has been secured from senior levels of government and $20 million from the U.S. Department of Defense. Currently, 94% of refined cobalt coming into North America is from China. Once operational, the new refinery will produce 6,500 tons of battery-grade cobalt sulfate per year, enough to support domestic production of up to 1 million electric vehicles. The new facility will also create 50 new jobs. Construction will start next year with operations beginning in 2027. A sizable drug bust in Chapleau has put 5 people from the north behind bars. Anishinaabe, Aski police and the OPP executed a search warrant at a residence in Chapleau after an investigation into trafficking in the area. Police found $67,000 in drugs and cash. They arrested 5 people who were in the residence at the time. Each was charged with multiple counts of possession for the purposes of trafficking. Greater Sudbury police have recovered more than $73,000 in stolen goods after a break-and-enter October 4th. Police were called to a residence in the south end of the city where thieves broke in and stole electronics and jewelry. The break, enter, and robbery, or BEAR unit, investigated and executed a search warrant at the suspect's home, finding the stolen items. 2 people were arrested in connection to the break-in. A 26-year-old has been charged with 5 theft-related charges, and an 18-year-old has been charged with possession of stolen property. Some stores say that shoplifting has been happening more often in the city of Greater Sudbury. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
According to the Greater Sudbury Police Services, shoplifting reports have almost doubled from over 1,100 incidents last year on their online reporting system.
Unfortunately, a lot of these crimes are crimes of opportunity, and they also are related to socioeconomics, addiction, mental health. So we do our best to identify and arrest these individuals and hope that the courts hold them accountable.
Talking to a lot of the businesses in the neighborhood, they're experiencing it as well. It's tough times for people out there, but you know, theft is theft, and I don't think that is something that they should be resorting to, especially when in the community there are resources for food and clothing.
Fabili continued saying that the theft from the charity shop is growing more alarming for her and her volunteers, and that people stealing cannot be stereotyped together.
What we're noticing is lots of the shoplifters have become more brazen and more aggressive. You know, we ask that bags are left at the front counter for everybody, but some of our shoplifters come in, load up their arms full of clothing, and will literally just walk out the store.
That is what loss prevention is for. So they do try to detain an individual who they've witnessed commit a shop theft. However, if a person becomes aggressive or violent in that nature, we ask that you just let them go. We are going to follow up on the incident and investigate it.
GSPS says that many shoplifters are repeat offenders, oftentimes at different stores, but some will shoplift from the same store multiple times.
If there is a finding of guilt, so for example, they take it to trial, they run the trial, they lose the trial, the lowest you can get is a discharge, right? The maximum, technically speaking, the maximum penalty on a theft under $5,000 is going to be 2 years less a day.
However, Pillay said that in cases of theft under $5,000, time served is left to the judge's discretion based on individual circumstances. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Highway 17 was closed this morning after a collision west of Massey. Police shut down the highway at Cattle Road. 1 person was taken to hospital after a passenger vehicle and a transport truck collided. Shifting now to the weather, a little sunshine today, but the temperatures have dropped. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman to tell us more.
Tony, we're getting closer. It's almost Halloween, just a week to go. Our first look at the systems map right now. Those temperatures are falling at night, not all that bad in some cases, and they will pick up by next week. We've got some light precipitation in the form of showers and some flurries in the forecast as well. Once we get through that, loads of sunshine and some warmer temperatures. We'll check out our currents and, of course, offer you a glimpse at what's happening for the next 7 days with the 7-day forecast. And I'm sure you will enjoy the weather forecast because people have been saying, bring on the sunshine. Tony, back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. There was a celebration yesterday in North Bay after its big win. The city celebrated its National Award for Communities in Bloom. North Bay won bronze for a population of over 50,000. And you know what? There was cake. Congratulations. The province wants to cut red tape and get more homes built. Still to come on CTV News at 6. We talk with the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing about the plan in a few minutes. But first, we're going to Elliot Lake in Timmins. This webcam is courtesy of that city. It's 3 Celsius. We will return after this commercial break.
Pure Country 91.7 wants to send you to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. We're giving away an all-inclusive Caribbean vacation for 2 every weekday. Listen for your chance to win. Pure Country Passport with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
The province made a big announcement today in Toronto. Several Ontario cabinet ministers were on hand to introduce Fighting Delays, Building Faster Act. To tell us more, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Rob Flack, now joins us from Toronto. Welcome, Mr. Minister.
Well, thank you so much, Tony. Great to be here on CTV Northern.
How is this proposed legislation going to get more homes built in Northern Ontario communities?
Well, in Northern Ontario, Tony, and throughout the province, it takes too long and it costs too much to get housing built today. I think we all know this. That being said, this bill complements Bill 17, Building Faster and Smarter Act, that we introduced last spring and was passed. So this is a continuation, a complement to that bill. And really what it does is it ends the practice of charging inflated development charges. Some municipalities do. I don't think that's a big problem in Northern Ontario. It explores new and bold funding initiatives for infrastructure, which can affect Northern Ontario, and it reduces the time to get houses built by cutting out needless barriers and red tape in the province. To get building permits built in Ontario, it can take years to get houses built, I should say, or where it can take only weeks or months in the U.S. We're competing with them. We have to be more nimble, more flexible, and get the job done.
Mr. Flack, I got a statement from the Sudbury Home and District Home Builders Association. They were saying, you know, some of the obstacles you cited there, but also access to equipment, materials, servicing, infrastructure, you know, short season to get homes built. Is that what you're hearing too?
100%. Let me talk about infrastructure for a second. This is a big one in this bill. So there's only one taxpayer, right, Tony? Municipal, provincial, federal, we're all the same taxpayers. And where do you get the money to put in the needed infrastructure this province needs? People estimate, the Water Main and Sewer Association estimates over $200 billion is needed to replace aging and new infrastructure. What we're looking at is creating a public utility corporation, Peel County, where the Peel region of Peel will be the pilot project. And if it works, you'll take private equity that can be put into a municipal service corp umbrella, and then each municipality can borrow from this fund and amortize it over decades rather than a matter of years, short period of time. And through that amortization, take pension funds, private equity, whatever, can invest in this. And guess what? We're going to get infrastructure, reducing the need to charge these nasty development charges.
Mr. Flack, one final question for you. Dave Plewart, the mayor of Kapuskasing and home to Cap Paper, says Ontario and Canada, you know, have to build more homes using Ontario lumber. Will those builders source their lumber from Northern Ontario producers and keep those communities and those people in those small towns?
Well, there's no better place to buy than at home. And if you talk to Premier Ford day in and day out, we're calling him Captain Canada these days. I know he met with the Prime Minister as late as today, and that message is loud and clear. We're here, and if you talk to Ministers Fedeli, you talk to Ministers Rickford, Ministers Holland, they will echo what we say. We're here to support the Ontario lumber industry, the forest industry, and very proud of this natural resource. And what better way to use it than at home? So 100%. That's our number one priority when we're looking at the materials going into the homes we need best.
Mr. Minister, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, Tony. All the best.
You too. Rob Flack joined us this evening from Toronto. And to read more about this announcement, head to news.ontario.ca. It's been 2 years since Sault Ste. Marie was rocked by intimate partner violence. Today, the second annual Voices Against Violence rally took place. CTV's Corey Nordstrom was there.
Survivors should never have to repeat their trauma multiple times to be heard.
The second annual Voices Against Violence rally serves as a way to turn grief into action.
I think it gives us purpose and hope on a day that would be daunting and, you know, really hard for all of us individually and collectively as a family.
Exactly 2 years ago, Angie Sweeney was one of 4 people murdered in a case of intimate partner violence that shook Sault Ste. Marie to its core. Angie's Angels was then formed, and many in the city have looked at ways to prevent a similar tragedy, including city police. An IPV unit now follows up with those who call in cases of domestic abuse.
We've done almost 1,200 callbacks to this point. We've had initiated over 40 new occurrences and laid 10 new charges. So I do believe our officers are, asking the right questions at the time.
I think it was a catalyst for the conversations. It was a catalyst for change. A lot of great things have come from that, but the fight is just beginning.
As of now, 106 of the 444 Ontario municipalities have declared intimate partner violence an epidemic. While organizers say that is a start, they want much more change from upper levels of government to reduce the number of incidents of femicide and domestic violence.
I think tougher bail, I think tougher sentencing for repeat offenders, I think is really important kind of at a federal level. At a provincial level, I want to see IPV declared an epidemic.
I think a lot of the work has honestly been done, like especially from the Renfrew inquest with the 86 recommendations that came from it. I would just like to see some of those recommendations be implemented.
Angie Sweeney's father, Brian, also hopes to start a province-wide tour next year to raise awareness on intimate partner violence. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Earlier this month, the City of Greater Sudbury announced plans to expand and centralize services for the homeless. As CTV's Angela Gemmell tells us, the news has been concerning for businesses near the site.
There are less than a dozen businesses in this part of the city, some overlooking the encampment where hundreds live in tents.
We're trying to make it work for everyone in this case here.
The city councillor for this area calls the change a balancing act between helping the vulnerable while also reassuring businesses their livelihood won't be impacted, as this site will be a 24-hour social services hub.
There'll be safety, there'll be security, so it's not going to be carte blanche. It's going to be it's transitional. So we want to help the vulnerable, but we also want to understand the needs of the business owners that are surrounding the area.
Several of the businesses CTV reached out to declined to comment. Speaking off camera, one owner says the cost of having the encampment nearby has translated into a need for security, repairs following vandalism, a loss of customers, and damage to their business's reputation.
They understand the need for services to help out the individuals that need those services, but they just want to make sure that it doesn't affect their businesses.
The impacted businesses are just outside the boundary covered by the downtown Sudbury Business Improvement Area, which has had its own challenges with the vulnerable population. It calls the Go Give project the right partner for the expanded services.
By relocating a lot of the services to one area, sort of a one-stop shop for the vulnerable to access, I think is the right move. Whether Energy Court is that long-term solution, I mean, I can't comment. But again, I think that's all levels of government will have to come together to look at what that is.
Given the concerns circulating, a rep with the Go Give project plans to reach out to reassure the nearby businesses. The 24/7 warming center and extra support at Energy Court will start November 1st and run until the end of April. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Tony, don't forget, time change coming up. Not this Saturday, the following Saturday into November. Here we go. Sunrise, sunset. Greater Sudbury, 7:59, 8:07 in Sault Ste. Marie. Timmins, 7:59. Temiskaming Shores, 7:51 and 7:48 for the sunrise tomorrow morning. Sunsets tomorrow night. Sudbury, 6:23, 6:34 in the Soo. Timmins, 6:18. Temiskaming Shores, 6:13 and 6:15 in North Bay. How about some current temperatures this hour? As we check out Moosonee, 6 with mainly cloudy skies, 3 in Cochrane, 3 in Timmins, precipitation. Pretty well the same story in Kapuskasing as well. Chapleau this hour, 2 with the light rainfall, drizzle. Wawa, 4 with drizzle. Sault Ste. Marie, some cloud cover as well. Moving on over to Parry Sound, 8, some sun and cloud down Highway 69. North Bay, some cloudy skies. Temiskaming Shores, sun and cloud at 6. Kirkland Lake, mainly cloudy skies. Greater Sudbury, 7 overcast. Espanola, 7, sun and cloud. Mainly cloudy in Elliot Lake at 5. And Gore Bay, some light rain. 8 degrees, our 7-day forecast. I promise it does get better. Stick around for that and more. Tony.
Appreciate that, Rick. Clean energy next on CTV News at 6. The Prime Minister and the Premier announced money for the Darlington nuclear station. And the federal Liberals have introduced bail reform legislation. A stop today for the Prime Minister in Ontario as he and Premier Doug Ford announced improvements at the Darlington nuclear power station. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the details.
Got new workers. The federal and provincial governments are teaming up to build small modular reactors at Darlington, kicking in a combined $3 billion for the nuclear project, the first of its kind in the G7. This is the first of the Prime Minister's major projects in Ontario, part of a pledge to build as an antidote to the U.S. trade war.
When we bet big on the type of infrastructure we're talking about today, we realize the benefit as Ontarians, as Canadians, for generations.
Construction on the first reactor started back in May. Once all 4 are online in about 2030, they'll pump out electricity to power 1.2 million homes. The reactor is expected to generate 18,000 jobs.
We're also making sure that at least 80% of the project spending goes to Ontario companies, and we're using Ontario products at every opportunity.
A lift for steelworkers suffering under the weight of tariffs. Mark Carney predicts the effects will be long-lasting.
This is about also establishing leadership in the technology.
Canadian expertise that can be tapped into around the globe and at home.
We could put an SMR up into a mining project rather than building 1,200 kilometers of transmission lines.
The Premier invites the Prime Minister to collaborate on more nuclear projects. The provincial government is hopeful its key priority will be on the next list of special projects announced by the Prime Minister later this month. That's expediting extraction of critical minerals from Northern Ontario's Ring of Fire. What about the Premier's controversial pet project, a tunnel for cars in transit under Highway 401? In September, Doug Ford was sure Carney would get on board.
I just believe he will.
A surprised eyebrow raise from the Prime Minister when CTV News asked about Ford's confidence he'll say yes.
Well, look, we're having discussions, we're sequencing the discussions with the province of Ontario.
Not giving a yes or a no for the moment. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
In Ottawa, the Liberals' bail reform bill was introduced today. CTV's Heather Wright explains the bill and the possible impacts.
On Tuesday afternoon, shots rang out at this busy shopping plaza in Brampton, Ontario. A woman shot and killed, a child abducted. The man accused was awaiting trial for domestic violence charges involving the same woman, 29-year-old Savannah Kula. It's these types of repeat and violent crimes Ottawa is hoping to crack down on, with new measures announced today.
This is a package of sweeping reforms that includes more than 80 targeted measures that will make bail laws stricter and sentencing tougher.
The federal Liberal government has been accused of being soft on crime and for allowing a so-called revolving door justice system that's too lenient on violent offenders. The changes announced today are designed to make bail more difficult to get, creating a reverse onus that falls on the accused.
The accused must provide information that clearly demonstrates they do not pose a public safety risk.
The bill also introduces a new set of aggravating factors that will lead to stiffer penalties against violent and repeat offenders, as well as those who target first responders, organized retail theft, and crimes against public infrastructure. Victims' rights advocates, police unions, and some provinces have been demanding these types of changes amid a rise in violent and high-profile crimes. But not everyone is on side. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says there is not enough evidence that shows bail causes crime, and they worry innocent people will be held in custody as a result.
We do worry that as we erode this charter right more and more and more, we'll get into a situation where just because you are accused of something, before you have your day in court, you're held behind bars.
Asked about whether this bill will require more space in jails, the Justice Minister said provinces asked for these changes and should be developing the capacity to manage more people going through detention facilities. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
There's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, here it is. It is Thursday night, and we are gearing up for the weekend. Our forecast radar, we've got some remnants of snow and rain lingering through northeastern Ontario. We call it sleet And we've got it in the forecast overnight tonight and continuing into tomorrow in some centers, but that will change. We will get some sunshine. We will get some warmer temperatures. It's about to change for the better. After all, we've had a pretty good run of precipitation, which a lot of people aren't big fans of. Here we go in Greater Sudbury, chance of sleet overnight. Sault Ste. Marie, chance of showers. Timmins, flurries and showers. Temiskaming Shores, chance of flurries and showers. In North Bay, chance of showers and flurries. So a nice mix there. Showers in Moosonee at 1. Caphurst, showers or flurries. Chance of sleet in Wawa. Gore Bay, chance of showers. 70% chance of showers in Parry Sound. Good chance it's going to rain there overnight. Sudbury Nickel Belt, here we go. Chance of showers tomorrow at 6. 6 on Saturday, sun and clouds. Sunshine Sunday at 8. 8 on Monday. Tuesday, we've got 8. Wednesday, we've got 8. That's a nice poker hand right there. 8 right across the board, so get ready for some sunshine. I like that. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers tomorrow at 8. 8 on Saturday as well, sun and cloud. Sun and cloud Sunday at 11. Wow. 10 on Monday, sun and cloud. Tuesday, 9, sun and cloud. Chance of showers next Wednesday. That's next week. Next Wednesday, 9 degrees. Here we go. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, showers, flurries for tomorrow. High of only 4, -3 the low. Chance of sleet on Saturday at 3. Sundays warming up. Sunshine at 7. 8 degrees on Monday. 7 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, that nice streak of sunny skies for Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Certainly well deserved after that string of rain that we've had and sleet. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of sleet tomorrow at 40%, 5 degrees the high. Cloud cover Saturday at 4. Here we go with the sunshine. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 and 7 degrees. 7 is what your normal should be in the big KL at this time of the year and Temiskaming Shores. So enjoy that. Overnight lows, not all that bad at -2, -3, even -1. Now a look at what's happening in North Bay and West Nipissing. Chance of sleet tomorrow at 30%. Your daytime high around 7. 5 with the cloud cover Saturday. Nice string of sunshine here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Happy days are back. 6, 7, and 8 degrees your expected highs for this time of the year. 8 is your normal. So again, it's all coming to a change for the better, weather and condition wise. Let's have a look at our pick of the day. Great shot here from Kathy Cameron, Fairbank Provincial Park. This is Park Road, Worthington. So many people in the viewing audience have been on that road. So great shot. And you can see between the trees and, just the glaze over the actual road itself. Not the glaze, but just the illumination. Anyways, thank you so much for that, Kathy. We're back with more news coming up with Tony after the break.
Halloween is just over a week away, and a community east of Sault Ste. Marie is holding a 2-day event to get kids and their families into the spooky spirit. To tell us more, the event coordinator for the town of Bruce Mines, Gabby Leclerc, now joins us. Welcome.
Hi, Tony.
So it's called Pumpkins and Potions, and it starts tomorrow and runs until Saturday. Gabby, give our viewers a sense as to what is going to be happening on Friday.
So on Friday, we're doing a haunted walk through the little area that we have here at the library here in Bruce Mines. And then we have a group of ladies who are witches in the town of Bruce Mines who are coming to do a witches dance for us. And it runs on Friday night from 5 till 9. So I think at 6:30 is when they're going to start doing their dance. So they're super excited, and it's a lot of fun. And then on the Saturday, we have games, and we're going to have a trunk or treat for people to join in on and people to bring their kids and go from trunk to trunk and get some candy, play some games with us, and just enjoy it. And there's another witches dance, an encore, just because they're so excited to see all the kids on the Saturday as well.
So tell me a little bit more about trunk or treat. Paint the picture for our viewers so people have trunks or pickup trucks open and you go like vehicle.
Yeah, your pickup truck, your SUV, anything, your trunk. So you can decorate it, you can dress up, do whatever you want. And then you hand out candy. So the kids go around in a circle. As we set up your vehicle, we stage you a little bit so the kids can walk from trunk to trunk and get candy. Because a lot of kids in our area live pretty rural, and it's a little hard for them to like trick or treat. So they can come here and do that, so they can still get that experience, but a controlled environment. It's a little easier for parents if they work too, because it's a set time, and it's lots of fun.
Gabby, it sounds like a great idea. How many people are you expecting? Because this is the second year for this event, and I was at last year's pre-event.
Yeah, so last year, I was not attending last year, but our fantastic group here, Megan and Emily from early on, Melissa from the library, and Tara, who was the previous event coordinator, had 75 people, I want to say, last year. So we're hoping to aim around the same amount or maybe even more. So, and it looks like the weather's holding up, which is exciting.
It sure is. It looks like plenty of sunshine for Friday and Saturday, which is always nice, especially with the little ones. Do you suggest that they come in costume?
Yeah, absolutely. If they want to dress up, they don't have to dress up, but if they would love to dress up, that would be great. I'm going to be dressed up. We're all going to be right up in our witches' outfits and stuff.
Gabby, thanks so much for your time, and good luck with this weekend's event.
Thank you so much.
Gabby Leclerc was our guest, and to find out more about the second annual Pumpkins and Potions Festival, head to Facebook and search Bruce Mines Recreation. Well, the third annual Homeless Challenge is officially underway in Elliot Lake. It's an opportunity to raise important funds for Larry's Place, the community's only men's shelter. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
3 community members will stay in these tents for the next 5 days. Dwayne is a returning participant, while Darren will experience it for the first time.
It's harder than you think. I challenge anyone to do it.
I think the hardest part is going to be the cold, because it is the weather has been dipping down, but I think if we all rally together and stick together, we can do this for them.
The men both work at Larry's Place, the only men's shelter in the Algoma region ran by the Elliot Lake Women's Group, offering 6 beds for men and children.
It costs us over $400,000 per year to run Larry's Place. At this point, we don't even have 50% of that funding. Like, we are not funded at all by dedicated funding. It's been donations.
That's why this event is so important.
Increasingly over the years, we do have more people camping in the woods, camping in the bushes. More recently, 2 more encampments popped up closer to Blind River. And so that is definitely an ongoing concern for us, the increase in numbers of people that need the support of Larry's Place and our other programs.
Participants will stay here at Grace Christian Center until Sunday. Since its inception, the challenge has raised over $25,000 for Larry's Place. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Elliot Lake.
Quilts for Survivors is marking a milestone today. The organization donates hand-sewn quilts to people who've survived residential schools, day schools, and other colonial traumas. As CTV's Lydia Chubak tells us, the group's plan is to continue making more blankets to ship anywhere in the world.
Alberta to
This quilt marks a historic milestone for Quilts for Survivors. It will be the 8,000th time the not-for-profit group has honored a residential school survivor. Quilts for Survivors launched in June 2021, and the original goal was to deliver 215 quilts to First Nations communities. This one is going to a woman in Siksika, Alberta.
now 8,000 and still going. I don't even know how to put into words how I feel. I'm very, very blessed.
As support for the endeavor grows, Genier vows to pair more quilts with people who request them, regardless of where they live.
Maybe this time next year we'll be at 10,000, but we're just going to keep making them until people stop asking for them. We're going to try to get every living survivor, whether they're day school, residential school, 60 scoops, or other traumas, everyone's going to get one.
A councillor representing Missinaba Cree First Nation, Genier's home community, says the quilts help recipients feel less alone.
I never even heard about residential schooling until once the government made their apology. It was never spoken of in my side of the family. So once the apology was made, then I'm like, what? I had to do my my investigations, ask the elders and find out exactly what happened.
Quilts for Survivors mails out 5 quilts a day and says to meet its goals, volunteers are always needed. It's trying to attain new equipment and is looking for an investment partner to help it buy a new long arm machine. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, South Porcupine.
A major donation to support patients at St. Joseph's Continuing Care Centre in Sudbury. Desjardins has given $500,000 to help build more rooms at the facility. St. Joseph's Continuing Care Centre is a rehabilitative hospital specializing in rehab and supportive care for adults so they can regain their independence. The donation will build 72 private rooms for patients, with construction expected to be completed in 2026. Yesterday, in recognition of the donation, the centre renamed its garden the Desjardins Healing Garden. A touching moment on the Atlantic coast where 2 men discovered 3 pilot whales too close to shore and struggling to get back to deeper water.
To touch them and look into their eyes, that's kind of what got us, I think, and made us, do the right thing. I hope we did the right thing.
This video captured the moment on Port Hope Island, Nova Scotia, when the men jumped into action and helped the whales back into more comfortable depths. The Marine Animal Response Society was alerted and was on the way, but called the team off when they heard the public had stepped in. High-profile arrests still ahead on CTV News at 6. The FBI probes sports gambling and some big names are rounded up.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
We had a story last month on a new type of boat called a Sea-Doo Switch. It combines the power of a Sea-Doo with the features of a pontoon boat. The boat has been involved in a recall, but some owners have reached out to CTV News to say they feel the boat is not safe to use. Pat Foran has details.
The Sea-Doo Switch has the power of a Sea-Doo and the seating arrangement of a pontoon boat. Marcus Hurl of St. Isidore says when he was using his with his grandchildren this summer, after another boat passed by, his Sea-Doo Switch started taking on water.
It was like a scoop that was scooping up water into the boat. Front end was submerged.
Lori and Clyde Rowan from Sault Ste. Marie saw our story and said a similar incident happened to them and their Sea-Doo Switch.
Went down into a trough. The front of the boat just disappeared. A wave hit us and we could not recuperate, and it just flipped us right over. All 7 of us were in the water.
Everyone on board had to be rescued.
Somebody could have been killed.
It broke my heart to think that we could have put our friends in danger.
There could be deaths from a family sinking a boat.
Paul and Sue DeCucci of Ottawa say their Sea-Doo Switch has taken on water and almost sank twice.
Just take the boat back and you work on whatever you need to work on to make this thing seaworthy, because I don't trust it.
There have also been cases of Sea-Doo Switches flipping over in the U.S. Bombardier Recreational Products issued a safety recall earlier this year and said overloading the front of the boat could result in serious injury or death. It also released a safety video.
Do not allow passengers to sit or gather at the front of the boat that would overload the bow. It may result in the boat nosediving, leading to capsizing.
Bombardier told CTV News safety is our top priority and the Sea-Doo Switch complies with small vessel regulations. The company added in a new statement, "We invite customers to reach out to their local dealers to perform the necessary recall procedures to mitigate the risk of nosediving and discuss any concerns they might have." But the 3 owners that contacted us say they want refunds for their boats and won't feel safe using them again.
Recall or no recall, I don't care. I'm not putting my grandchildren on that boat. Never.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A major story in the sports world. More than 30 people have been arrested in probes into illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by organized crime. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups are among those arrested. The NBA has previously investigated Rozier in 2023, but that investigation determined he did nothing wrong. Authorities say the fraud involved is mind-boggling in the tens of millions of dollars.
Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses.
The FBI says the defendants were allegedly involved in illegal betting on the performance of players on the Charlotte Hornets, Portland Trailblazers, the LA Lakers, and the Toronto Raptors. In Northern sports now, Marymount Academy in Sudbury is celebrating the end of a great golf season. Grade 12 student Elliot Boyles was captain of the women's team this year and led the school to a second-place finish at the city finals. Boyles claimed top spot at both city and NOSA levels before going to OFSA last week. Boyles placed 31st overall out of almost 130 golfers at the provincial tournament. GFL Memorial Gardens was a busy place last night as the Sioux Greyhounds played host to the Erie Otters, and it was a fairly uneventful first period with the Hounds getting on the board in the dying few minutes.
Smith drop pass, low, scores a short-handed goal for the Greyhounds.
The short-handed goal going to Noah Laws, but that wouldn't last long. In less than a minute, Erie would respond. In fact, Erie would end up scoring 4 more times before they were done. Jordan Charon was the only other Hound to get on the board. The Sioux falls to visiting Erie 5-2. And the Greyhounds will also be starting their game an hour earlier tomorrow. Their game against the Peterborough Petes will start at 6:07 to avoid playing through Game 1 of the World Series. Sudbury Wolves announced the same thing yesterday for their fans. As for tonight's action, the Peterborough Petes will start their Northern Road swing in North Bay against the Battalion. Game time tonight is 7 o'clock. In the NOJHL, the Greater Sudbury Cubs will play host to the Blind River Beavers. That game gets underway at 7:10 at Countryside Arena. The Jim Henson Company today confirmed it's offering up a selection of puppets, props, and memorabilia to members of the public for the very first time. The company behind the Muppets, Fraggle Rock, and other classics says more than 400 items will be up for sale at its Hollywood headquarters next month to mark its 70th anniversary. Auction proceeds will go towards preserving the Jim Henson Company's archives for future generations. Comedy legend Eddie Murphy is the subject of a new documentary, and an Oscar-winning director's next film is making headlines in David Daniels' Hollywood Report.
I want to show them that I'm not like anybody in this town. I'm everybody in the scene and everything in between.
We amplified black talent.
He changed the world. Not just American culture, he changed the world.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Here's your first look at Being Eddie. The documentary examines Eddie Murphy's unique and barrier-breaking career, talking with a host of fellow Hollywood legends and going in-depth with Murphy himself. Being Eddie debuts November 12th on Netflix.
If we get this wrong, none of us are going to be alive tomorrow.
There is no plan B.
The nuclear thriller A House of Dynamite is the first feature in 8 years from Oscar-winning director Catherine Bigelow.
There is a specialness about her films because she makes so few of them, and because it's like, I think a lot of the great films, like Peter Weir as well, like, you know, Chris Nolan, there's a personal connection to whatever it is she's asking of the audience and of the viewer in why she's brought this to life.
A House of Dynamite is now playing in limited release and debuts on Netflix Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's earnings season. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has the latest numbers from Ford, which was affected by a fire at one of its key suppliers.
Ford reported a profit of $2.4 billion U.S. for its third quarter. That's double what it made in the same quarter last year. The company is seeing strong sales of trucks and SUVs, but a fire at a key aluminum supplier could cost Ford as much as $2 billion. They rely on the metal to build pickup trucks. Ford is revising its earnings outlook as a result. It's now forecast to be $6 to $6.5 billion, and that's $1 billion less than it was. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.49. West Texas Intermediate crude shot up over $3 to 61.79. Western Canadian Select also gained over $1, moving to 46.10. And the TSX gained 203 points today, moving back up over that 30,000 mark. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $21.95, closing the day at $41.2048 US an ounce. Silver up 34 cents to end the day at $48.82. Copper up 7 cents to $4.87, and nickel up 7 cents, ending the day at $6.84 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Friday weather.
Well, it's all going to change by the weekend. Here we go, Tony, with some of the conditions that we can expect for tomorrow. Chance of showers, Greater Sudbury at 6. 4 flurry showers in Timmins. Sault Ste. Marie, chance of showers at 30%. High of 8 degrees. Meanwhile, in North Bay, 7, chance of sleet. 8 degrees, well, showers in Parry Sound, and 5, chance of sleet at 40%. Temiskaming Shores. That all changes just in time for the weekend. Tony?
Thanks so much for that, Rick. A Greater Sudbury man is $100,000 richer. Nicholas Sear of Chelmsford matched 6 of 7 encore numbers to win the prize. That's a nice payoff from an investment of a loonie. And 92-year-old Gilbert Dumoulin of North Bay picked up $50,000 playing instant bingo. She says a little home renovation is in her future. And congratulations to both of you. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.